Well, you know what? I think that residents, young people included, students included, for a really long time have been asking, for our own university. I remember during the campaign, and even just before the campaign of 2018, many of the residents were very excited about Ryerson coming to the city of Brampton. And so when those original proposals were canceled, there was a lot of disappointment and a lot of questions in terms of what's next. The reality is that the city of Brampton is the only large municipality in the country that does not have its own university. We are the only university, only city, large city in the country without our own university. You look at neighboring municipalities, Markham was just announced again, they're getting a university. You look at the University of Guelph, you look at other municipalities that are a fraction of the population of the city of Brampton, and Brampton is the only one that doesn't have a large university. And so the excitement around that is not just for our young people in terms of opportunities to learn here in our own beautiful city that we love, but also affordability for students as well as their parents, which is a big issue when it comes to post-secondary learning and education for the province of Ontario. So it's incredibly exciting, the fact that the province is still very interested in our BramptonU proposal. And for our young people, in our most recent update, we have some world-leading institutions interested in partnering with the city of Brampton under the BramptonU umbrella. And these are different programs from around the world that young people in Brampton will have access to. What differentiates the city of Brampton is the fact that we are one of the most diverse municipalities in the country. We have an amazingly talented group of young people who end up going to school elsewhere. And whenever that happens, when our young people leave our city to go to school elsewhere, that means that a lot of the businesses who are looking for talented employees aren't necessarily looking to Brampton for those talented employees, because all of those young people have gone to school everywhere else. And so in terms of what I'm looking for a BramptonU is a very strong partnership, not just with our district school boards and our young people, but also in particular with the private sector. Understanding from the private sector, what is it what is the skills, what are the skills and the gaps in their talent pool that they need to fill, and making sure that the programming that we bring to BramptonU is the programming that's going to fill those jobs. As you know, we have an issue with an economic activity rate, and part of trying to get businesses to be interested in creating jobs and investing in the city of Brampton is developing that homegrown talent here in Brampton. And so a lot of this for me is job creation for the future, number one. Number two, it's about we have a bad reputation sometimes in Brampton of not being the cool place to live, that there are there's no social life, there are no real pubs to hang out with, particularly in the downtown core. And what a university would bring to that is it would create life. It would create a place where young people want to hang out. It would stimulate investment in those cool and hip things that other municipalities have that the city of Brampton doesn't currently have. So creating business investment and job creation, as well as revitalizing our downtown core and other areas in Brampton so that our young people can feel proud about our city, are some other key components that I think are important for me from a personal perspective. So in our follow-up meetings with the province, just before COVID-19 had happened, we were just about to submit our proposal, and then COVID-19 happened. What that created during COVID-19 was even more emphasis on the need for a new model like BramptonU. The province, in our conversations with them during this time of COVID-19, as they were revisiting post-secondary education, and in particular those projects in Brampton, Markham, and Milton, they really wanted to emphasize the importance of job creation again, because obviously post-COVID-19, we're going to be looking at the economy to re-stimulate the economy again. And number two, new ways of delivering post-secondary education in terms of in a more cost-effective way. And finally, the key component of our proposal was the virtual learning aspect. And before COVID-19, our proposal was very strong on online learning. And post-COVID-19, after having conversations with the province, they highlighted the importance of a strong online virtual component to post-secondary as a key aspect moving out of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so some of those elements, those key elements, are what will differentiate us as a Made in Brampton solution for a university campus here in our city. And then the final piece that I think is really important are the strong partnerships that we have established with other institutions, world-leading institutions. That would include Ryerson. So Ryerson University is part of those conversations, but also institutions like my alma mater, London School of Economics, Queen Mary University. Queen Mary University is the world's second-ranking research university when it comes to health sciences and medicine. They're interested in coming to Brampton. We have Guelph Humber, who is very keen on expanding their campus here in the city of Brampton through BramptonU. And then we have other partners within the virtual online learning realm, D2L, which is based in Kitchener-Waterloo and London, England, as well as Open University. Two of those institutions and partnerships are all about providing digital content and digital programming. You know, the Brampton 2040 vision is very important because it also highlights a city that we want to see where you could live, work, learn, and play. One that is based on 20-minute walkable commuting neighborhoods, one that is vibrant with young people, one that is full of recreation and community engagement. And the reason why it's important, the BramptonU proposal, is because without a large university, without the actual foundation of developing that talent, that homegrown talent, we will have a hard time in attracting business investment into the city, because employers want to be where the talent is. And the more we continue exporting our talent to other municipalities, the more we lose that competitive advantage that we have, which is essentially we're one of the most diverse and youngest populations in the entire country. And so the key element of having Brampton University, our own university, is instrumental to Vision 2040. And that's not to say that, you know, the original Ryerson proposal wasn't acceptable. I think at the time, it was something that the provincial government at the time, they were in agreement with. But we know from the residents and the feedback from the residents at that time that they wanted more, and rightfully so. I think the city of Brampton deserves more. You look at our neighboring municipality in Mississauga, they have a campus of U of T. U of T is in Mississauga. So why is it that Brampton can't have a large university of our own? So I would say for sure, having a large university in the city of Brampton is absolutely pivotal in terms of realizing our 2040 vision. So we're in ongoing conversations with the province. We have a big conference coming up next week with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, where the City of Brampton is going to be delegating with various ministries, to include the Ministry of Post-Secondary Education. And we're going to be speaking with them directly about the BramptonU proposal. A lot of work is happening behind the scenes in terms of meetings with their respective partners, etc. But I think that the next possible announcement that we can expect on this one may be sometime in the third or fourth quarter of this year. And if, knock on wood, things go well, we are hoping that by maybe next year, we'll be able to get a really big announcement about BramptonU. We have our own social media handles, that could be found under BramptonU for Twitter and Instagram, as well as on Facebook. So you can follow us there for any immediate updates. We also have our own website that folks can follow as well under Brampton University.